Meditation changes the structure of your brain in a positive way, according to what a study has revealed. There is no right or wrong way to meditate. For years, scientists have been trying to determine, through a study of neuroscience, if meditation has any effect on our personal health and our environment, going so far as to question if it could potentially lower the crime rates. In 2002, scientists from the University of Wisconsin studied 6 meditative states: visualization, one-pointed concentration, generating compassion, devotion, fearlessness, and an quote-unquote open state. The researchers then studied the brains of meditating Buddhist monks using electroencephalogram EEG and magnetic resonance imaging MRI, and the results were reportedly breathtaking. Media lens. Mind-blowing, they tweet, when the University of Wisconsin measured the brains of Buddhist monks meditating on compassion, the results were breathtaking. We thought there was something wrong with our instruments. Lion's Roar reports, in short, Lama Ozer's brain shift during compassion seemed to reflect an extremely pleasant mood. The very act of concern for others' well-being, it seems, creates a greater state of well-being within oneself. The finding lends scientific report to an observation often made by Dalai Lama that the person doing a meditation on compassion for all beings is the immediate beneficiary, end quote. Another study corroborated the research done by Davidson. Paul Ekman, one of the world's most eminent experts on science of emotion, who heads the Human Interaction Laboratory, University of California, San Francisco, led an experiment on facial human emotions. The experiment consisted of a videotape in which a series of faces show a variety of expressions very briefly being shown to participants. Study participants were told to identify whether they had seen contempt, anger, or fear in those on the screen, which flickered the images in a matter of seconds. Lion's Roar continues to report. Then Ekman announced his results. Both Lama Ozer and another advanced Western meditator Ekman had been able to test were 2 standards deviations above the norm in recognizing these super quick facial signals of emotion. Albeit the 2 subjects differed in the emotions they were best at perceiving, they both scored far higher than any of the 5,000 other people tested. Quote, they do better than policemen, lawyers, psychiatrists, customs officers, judges, even Secret Service agents, end quote, the group that had previously distinguished itself as most accurate. It appears that one benefit of some sort of life paths that these 2 follow is becoming more aware of these subtle signs of how other people feel, Ekman notes. Also had super acuity of the fleeting signs of fear, contempt, and anger. The other meditator, a Westerner who, like Ozer, had done a total of 2 to 3 years in solitary retreats in the Tibetan tradition, was similarly outstanding, though on a different range of emotions: happiness, sadness, disgust, and, like Ozer, anger, end quote. Another study on stifling the startle reflex produced shocking results. According to Lion's Roar, these studies have given Davidson convincing data that meditation can shift the brain as well as the body, while Ozer's results suggested that just how far the shift could go with years of practice in meditation. Even beginners displayed signs of biological shifts. It can shift the brain as well as the body. A more recent study conducted by the Max Planck Institute in 2017 corroborates the research even further, finding that different types of meditation can actually affect different areas of the brain. Alice Walton, a writer for Forbes, explains, quote, participants who were between 20 and 55 years of age engaged in 3 different types of training for 3 months each, totaling a 9-month study period. The first training was dubbed the Presence module and was very similar to focused awareness and meditation, an ancient practice that's been studied a lot in recent years. And in this study, participants learned to focus their attention, bring it back when it wandered, and to attend to the breath, and to their internal body sensations, end quote. The second phase of the training was called Effect. and its purpose was to increase compassion and empathy for others. The participants were taught about a specific meditation for loving kindness, with the sole intention being to enhance one's compassion and empathy. And the last phase was called the perspective module, where the focus was simply to observe one's own thoughts without judgment, hence open monitoring meditation. The results shape our understanding of the human brain, meditation, and its effects on our emotions. Quote, the researchers wagered that training in each of these methods would lead to volume increases in corresponding brain areas, and this was largely what they found as they scanned the participants' brain at the end of each module and compared groups against one another. Training in presence was linked to enhanced thickness in the anterior prefrontal cortex, PFC, and the anterior cingulate cortex, ACC, which are known to be strongly involved in attention. After training was linked to increased thickness in regions known to be involved in socially driven emotions like empathy, and perspective training associated with changes in areas involved in understanding the mental states of others, and interestingly, inhibiting the perspective of oneself, end quote, Walton wrote. In other words, you sort of zero yourself out and you give yourself to the benefit of mankind by meditating on their well-being. And that also helps you. Anyway, going back to this, another study from the University of Wisconsin also suggests that meditation and exercise could ward off the common cold and flu. However, in some cases, meditation can cause harm, according to other studies. There's no correct or incorrect way to meditate. There are different types of meditation and different religions and spiritual paths that have their own unique methods. The process of connecting with one's higher self and silencing the noise in the mind can be done in multiple ways. As scientists demonstrated, each one has a different effect on your brain and in turn your emotions. And find out what form of meditation works for you and practice, expand and unleash your mind. This is by Aaron Kessel, Mind Unleashed, Creative Commons. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.